There is a planet in our solar system so beautiful, so impossibly elegant, that the first astronomers who saw it through a telescope thought their instruments were broken. They could not believe that something so perfect could exist in nature. This is Saturn, the sixth planet from the Sun, and perhaps the most visually stunning object in the known universe. But beauty in space is almost always a lie. Beneath those perfect golden rings and those soft amber clouds lies one of the most violent, extreme, and mysterious worlds ever discovered. Saturn is the second largest planet in our solar system, so massive that 764 Earths could fit inside it. And yet, despite its enormous size, Saturn is the lightest planet of all, the only planet in the solar system less dense than water. If you could find an ocean large enough, Saturn would float. That strangeness begins to hint at what Saturn truly is, not a solid world you could ever land on, but an almost entirely gaseous giant held together by nothing but its own gravity. Saturn rotates faster than almost anything its size should be able to. One Saturn day lasts only 10.5 hours. A world larger than 700 Earths, spinning 2.5 times faster than our own planet. That speed has consequences. Saturn is visibly flattened at its poles and bulges at its equator, a planet so fast it has distorted its own shape. But nothing about Saturn commands attention the way the rings do. They stretch outward from the planet for nearly 300,000 kilometers, far enough to stretch from Earth almost to the Moon. And yet, for all their impossible width, the rings are extraordinarily thin, in most places no thicker than a 10-story building. A structure hundreds of thousands of kilometers wide and barely taller than a city block. The rings are not solid. They are made of countless individual pieces of ice and rock, some as small as dust grains, others as large as houses, a few as massive as mountains, each one orbiting Saturn independently, locked in a silent, endless procession around the planet. When sunlight catches these ice particles, they shine and glitter, turning Saturn's equatorial plane into something that looks less like a planet and more like a work of art. But here is what most people do not know. The rings are disappearing. Saturn's gravity and magnetic field are slowly pulling ring material down into the atmosphere in a process scientists call ring rain. Every hour, Saturn loses enough ring material to fill an Olympic swimming pool. The rings we see today, those perfect iconic arcs, will be completely gone in approximately 100 million years. We exist at a rare moment in the history of the solar system, the only time a being could look up and see Saturn as it truly is, ringed and glorious. 100 million years from now, Saturn will still be here, but it will be naked, ringed no more, and no one will know what we once saw. Saturn's atmosphere is not calm. It is a world of storms that make anything on Earth look trivial. At the poles, Saturn hosts a permanent hexagonal storm, a six-sided weather pattern so geometrically perfect it looks engineered. Each side of the hexagon is longer than the diameter of Earth, and the storm has been rotating steadily for as long as we have been watching.
Scientists still do not fully understand why it is a hexagon. Why not a circle like every other storm we have ever seen on any other planet? Deep in Saturn's atmosphere, lightning storms explode with a force thousands of times more powerful than anything on Earth, raging for months at a time without stopping. Winds in Saturn's upper atmosphere reach speeds of 1,800 kilometers per hour, nearly 5 times faster than the most powerful hurricane ever recorded on our planet. Below the clouds, the pressure builds until hydrogen gas slowly transforms into liquid, and deeper still, into liquid metallic hydrogen, the same alien state of matter found inside Jupiter. At Saturn's core, scientists believe there is a dense region of rock and ice surrounded by this ocean of metallic hydrogen at temperatures that may exceed 11,000 degrees Celsius, hotter than the surface of the Sun. Saturn has 146 confirmed moons, more than any other planet in the solar system. Each one a world in its own right, shaped and scarred by billions of years of Saturn's gravitational influence. Titan, the largest, is wrapped in a thick orange atmosphere denser than Earth's, the only moon in the solar system with a substantial atmosphere of its own. On Titan's surface, rivers and lakes exist, not of water, but of liquid methane and ethane, flowing across a landscape of water ice as hard as rock. Enceladus, one of Saturn's smaller moons, should be a dead frozen rock, but it is not. From cracks at its south pole, enormous geysers erupt continuously, shooting plumes of water vapor and ice particles hundreds of kilometers into space. That water feeds directly into Saturn's outermost ring, a moon actively building a planetary ring in real time. Beneath Enceladus's icy surface lies a global liquid water ocean, kept warm by tidal forces from Saturn's gravity. And where there is warm liquid water, scientists cannot rule out the possibility of life. Saturn's rings cast shadows on the planet's surface that shift and change as the planet moves through its long 29-year orbit around the Sun. Seasons measured not in months, but in decades. During Saturn's equinox, the rings become edge-on to the Sun, and for a brief period, the ring shadows disappear entirely, leaving Saturn looking almost bare and exposed. The Cassini spacecraft spent 13 years orbiting Saturn, sending back data that rewrote our understanding of the planet, its rings, and its moons. On its final day, Cassini was deliberately steered into Saturn's atmosphere. Scientists could not risk contaminating Enceladus or Titan with Earth microbes if the spacecraft ever lost control. Cassini burned up in Saturn's clouds, becoming part of the very planet it had spent a decade studying. We have sent only a handful of missions to Saturn, and each one has come back with more questions than answers. Saturn has existed for 4.5 billion years, shaped by forces we are only beginning to understand, hiding secrets in its clouds and beneath the ice of its moons.